Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of The Natural Way with Dr. Jack Wolfson. Dr. Jack Wolfson is your natural cardiologist, the paleo cardiologist. Jack, thanks for being here for yet another edition of The Natural Way.
My pleasure, Dr. Jason. Great to talk to you. Very excited for another great episode. Let's do it.
I'm excited for this episode because when we can uncover something new and different for people, I think we really make a difference in people's lives. And today, we're going to talk about the natural way to get well and stay well naturally. And you've got a formula for those things. I think most people probably have some awareness about some of the basic keys to getting well and staying well. But one of the things that makes you different is the one doctor you make sure that you send all your patients to. So why don't we start off with, can you give us an overview of the things people need to do to sort of live the natural approach to staying well?
Yeah, most certainly. You know, what I'm most well known for is being the paleo cardiologist. And paleo is about the time frame of 2 million years ago up until 10,000 years ago. And it's about eating the foods of our ancestors and living the lifestyle of our ancestors as well. So, of course, we talk about the importance of getting appropriate sleep and staying physically active and getting sunshine and eating those hunter-gatherer foods that we so relied on. But really, the one trick that I tell people, everybody in my practice, they have to see the doctor of chiropractic, because that chiropractor is really going to be their health guide, their doctor that takes them through the understanding of the importance of things like sleep and physical activity and sunshine and the right foods and the right supplements for people to take. But ultimately, it is a story about how the brain controls the rest of the body and how the rest of the body signals back to the brain. And it's that super highway, that communication highway, that I have found in my cardiology practice to be so important and so vital that, frankly, Dr. Jason, if someone is not under chiropractic care in my practice, they're really not welcome to be part of my practice, because it leads to a lack of success. And I want to be successful. I want my patients to be successful.
Okay, I've got a feeling this is probably going to be shocking to most people in the general public, probably something most chiropractors are very happy to hear. But let's break it down. I've got a feeling most people who are probably listening to this are going, I'm sorry, wait, what? What in the world does seeing a chiropractor have to do with your heart health? And why in the world would a cardiologist be sending people to go see one? So help me understand from a consumer standpoint, from a person standpoint, what in the world does my nerve system have to do with my heart and overall health?
Well, that's certainly a great question. And I think most medical doctors, certainly cardiologists, are missing that point, and they're missing the understanding of how everything and every cell in the body communicates with one another. And that is what the holistic doctor of chiropractor understands. And I understood that very quickly in my cardiology practice, and understanding that when it comes to the heart, for example, the heart is innervated by the nerves coming from the brain, and that there's a problem in that communication highway, it's going to lead to cardiovascular problems, and that can be hypertension, most certainly. Every major artery of the body is innervated from the brain and what's called the autonomic nervous system linking into those arteries. So if there's dysfunction along that pathway because we fell out of a tree or because of a car accident or some other kind of trauma, or just living here on Earth, that vertebral subluxation impacts flow from heart to brain and from brain to heart. And when that subluxation is corrected by an adjustment, fantastic things happen, whether it's blood pressure, heart rhythm issues, atrial fibrillation, ectopic beats such as PACs, PVCs, congestive heart failure. And the additional thing is that you don't have to necessarily rely on Dr. Jack Wolfson, cardiologist. It's in the literature. But the sad reality is that most cardiologists, most medical doctors are not reading about that. They're reading about the pills and about the procedures and not actually about true prevention and true maintenance of health.
So let's help people make some better decisions. When would it be most appropriate? I mean, I'm assuming somebody doesn't have a heart attack and they come into you looking for critical emergency care, and we ship them off to the chiropractor immediately. So let's create some context. When is this most appropriate for people to go, and when should they not go? When is it? I don't know if it's too late, or what do they not rely on the chiropractor for? Help us understand where it's right and where to be careful and be aware.
Sure. I think that obviously in my practice, everybody has to be under the care of a chiropractor, as I said many times already. What I would say is that, if they don't come as a referral already seeing someone, then I refer them out to somebody, depending on where they live and maybe what type of chiropractic, that they would like. But I think that chiropractic is, and seeing the chiropractor is just part of everyday wellness. So, whether they're seeing someone regarding their high blood pressure, and however often that is, maybe more often in the beginning, a little less so later on, whatever it is, that's all part of the program. So when you did make that reference about having a heart attack, to be honest with you, Jason, I think there is a tremendous role. I don't think it's very likely going to happen in that scenario, but I feel so strongly about people being under the care of a chiropractor that in the midst of a heart attack, it would be fantastic to have someone, one of these doctors, in an emergency room to be treated first. Now, first off, 9 out of 10 chest pain is non-cardiac. It's musculoskeletal, where a doctor of chiropractic can certainly shine. But that 1 out of 10 maybe where it is cardiac, I think there would be actually tremendous value in the adjustment prior to whatever kind of newfangled procedure the cardiologist would employ at that time. So I think that there is a time and a place for everybody in their health, to go see their local natural doctor.
You referenced some of the literature, some of the science. Can you give us, any insight as to what some of the science and literature suggests?
Yeah, well, certainly studies show chiropractic care helps with blood pressure reduction, 17 points on the top number, which is systolic, 10 points on the diastolic. There is literature about the adjustment and ectopic heart rhythms, those extra beats, skip beats, palpitations people experience, fast heart rates, slow heart rates. There's literature there. Now, listen, obviously in my space, we're used to seeing studies of 10,000 people get a drug and 10,000 people get a sugar pill. We don't have that kind of information when it comes to holistic health and wellness, but it's in the literature, and really, fundamentally, it just kind of makes sense that if there is not good neurologic flow from to and from these organs of the body, brain to the heart, heart back to the brain, and for that matter, brain to the liver and the kidneys and the spleen and every organ in the body, if there's not good communication, we're going to suffer the consequences. And once again, the literature is there, and I think there's more literature coming online. But at the same point, we don't necessarily have to wait for a study when we know that millions of people are under chiropractic care and they're getting tremendous results. So, do I need a study that says that my wife using her hands gets rid of ear infections in young children? I don't need a study to tell me that. I've seen my wife do it with her hands dozens and dozens, if not 100 times, and that's all the proof that I need.
Right on. Your wife, of course, being a chiropractor and so on. So people have these remarkable experiences. We've all seen them. I guess, you said it. There's a time and place for every type of provider. So I don't think any of us are suggesting you do this and never do that, or you see this doctor, never that kind of doctor. It's really most appropriate. But why do you think more cardiologists aren't making these recommendations? Is it their education? Is it are they influenced by the pharmaceutical industry in certain ways? Is it? What do you? Is it against their self-interest? I don't know. What do you think are perhaps, again, from a consumer, they'd go, I'm going to go to my cardiologist. How come they're not recommending me go see a chiropractor? Why do you think that is?
I think you hit the nail on the head on several of those points. Number one, our training does not support that. We never think outside the box. We never think about anything except for pill and procedure. I don't mean to denigrate those doctors. It's just how they were trained. And I think once again, in the emergency situation, that's you go to the hospital. But for prevention, myself as a medical doctor, we have nothing. We have nothing except for pills and the procedures. We're not trained to be preventive doctors. We're trained to instill the Band-Aid approach, the cover-up approach, and that's just the reality, Dr. Jason. It's just fact. Is there a financial issue here? Yeah, certainly. I mean, it does not profit me to refer out to a doctor to help my patient. I want to take care of that patient as a conventional cardiologist. I want them under my care. I want them taking my drugs. I want them doing my procedures. I want them following up with me month after month, because that's how I pay my bills. And when I opted out of that lifestyle to open up my own natural holistic practice, you give up a lot. So for cardiologists, like you said, they're not educated. It's financially driven, and maybe some reason, the cardiologists have a concern about medical legal issues, but I don't think a cardiologist could ever be at fault for referring out to a holistic doctor, certainly not a doctor of chiropractic. And I think that there's room for everybody, but I think that the revolution is on, Dr. Jason, that people are seeking the truth. They are seeking more answers than the pills and the procedures. This is not the 1970s where you walk into your doctor and Marcus Welby, MD, and what that doctor says is gospel. Now people have the internet. They've got podcasts like you and I are doing right now. They've got webinars. They've got books like my book. They've got educational tools, and they're making the correct decisions. And that is why we're reaching the tipping point. And I think in a lot of ways that medicine is going to be changing very, very soon to a holistic model.
Yeah, I agree with you very much so. I guess in closing, I mean, how would you describe the type of person that embraces this ideology or philosophy or understanding? I mean, you said some key things here, and that is, there are some people that really just are not willing to participate, learn, open their minds. They go to the doctor, follow the doctor's instructions. That's one mindset. But there seems to be a growing trend in people that are willing to do some research, are willing to look. It's easier now than ever before, right? How would you describe the kind of person that may be more proactive as opposed to reactive and so on and so forth, that you think is the ideal kind of candidate to go, yep, that's the direction I should go because that's me?
Well, I'm hoping that everybody kind of goes in this direction, and I think more and more people, as we said, are certainly doing so. And there's no lost causes out there. It's never too late. It's never too late for anybody to embrace this lifestyle. Heck, for the first 35 years of my life, I was living the Chicago food, the Chicago lifestyle until I opened up my eyes to reality. And I don't want to get sick. I want to prevent that. And like I said, the medical side doesn't offer anything for prevention. So as we continue to educate, we continue to teach people, maybe it's, kind of one spouse is into this, the other spouse is not. I would suggest to that spouse just to kind of, slip in that literature, slip in the podcast, kindly ask, hey, listen, I want you to listen to what this cardiologist is saying. I want you to listen to what this holistic doctor, this doctor of chiropractic is saying. Open up your eyes, and also, this is a great opportunity to say, the past is the past. What we did in the past is the past. We're talking about moving forward. Let's let our guard down. Let's get rid of any guilt we harbor over previous behaviors, and let's just move on. And let's just do the right thing. And I see it in my practice, Doc, every single day. The miraculous changes people get when they follow any semblance of this lifestyle. You don't have to be 100% like the paleo cardiologist, but the more you improve, the closer you get to that level, the healthier you're going to be and enjoy an extraordinarily long and healthy life. That's what it's all about. We all want to live long, but only if we're healthy. And that's what us holistic doctors offer, and the other side just doesn't.
All right, last question for you. We'll wrap this up. Obviously, if they come to see you in Arizona, you've got chiropractors that you can refer them to. If they're watching this somewhere around the world, how do they choose a good chiropractor? Are there certain questions they should ask? You mentioned something about vertebral subluxation and so on. There's a spectrum of different types of chiropractors. What do you recommend people ask to know if they've got the right kind of chiropractor or not?
Well, I think that, once again, that, the best referral is from a friend. So asking friends in your network if they know of a good chiropractor. And frankly, a lot of people aren't necessarily bragging about their doctor. So when you ask people, you're going to find that a lot of people are under the care of a chiropractor. So find that out. I think those online resources and even Yelp can be a good source to get on there, to get on Google reviews, something like that, to find out, and call that office and ask some questions. Now, what those questions are, can be about what form of chiropractic the person practices, maybe where they went to school, kind of get, guides other people. And maybe sometimes the first thing to do is just go get a consultation. And if you resonate with that person, stick with that person. If you don't have a good experience, then go find somebody else. And I think that's true of any doctor, whether it's a cardiologist or a lung doctor, or a kidney doctor, or plastic surgeon, right? You go resonate, with that person or not, and then move on. I think there's so many different branches of chiropractic. So I certainly don't want to segment, one versus the other. The way I understand it, though, is that the foundation of chiropractic, the origination of chiropractic, was full spine diversified technique, and that is moving bones. That is correcting and moving vertebral subluxations. And I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, so I think the main thing is to make sure that the chiropractor provides adjustments. That's the main service, and that they clear the spine and nerve system of vertebral subluxations. Probably is sort of one of the essential things they want to make sure that doctor provides. And most people think that if they're going to go to a chiropractor, they have to have some sort of neck or back pain. That's just not the case anymore, is it?
Well, no, I mean, clearly the doctor of chiropractic is fantastic at neck and back pain, but as I explain to people, and I talk about this in chapter 14 of my book called The Wonders of Chiropractic, where I show the spine chart in there and how the brain connects to every organ. Once again, it's, the doctor of chiropractic certainly has to provide adjustments. That's number one, because that is so foundational. And then all the other educational material after that, when it comes to the food and the sleep and the sunshine and evidence-based supplements, I think that is really an added bonus. And listen, you and I both traveled around the country, around the world, and have met so many amazing doctors. There is no shortage of the quality chiropractor out there.
Right on. Well, Doc, I want to say thank you personally for all you've done to help me, but also for your courage to speak out. Obviously this is not yet the cultural norm, but if it becomes that, as it should, it'll be because of pioneers who have been courageous enough like yourself to speak out. So for lots of chiropractors around the world, I personally say thank you very much for speaking up and speaking out.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching another edition of The Natural Way with Dr. Jack Wolfson. Please watch for upcoming segments about the natural way to all kinds of great things in your life. Thanks for watching.